buying a home in Texas, you're going to hear a lot of terms thrown around. MLS, earnest money, option period, and if you don't know what they mean, the process can get overwhelming fast. This video breaks down the real estate language you're guaranteed to hear in a Texas transaction, what it means, when it shows up, how it affects you. No fluff, no jargon, just real explanations so you can feel confident whether you're buying your first home or your fifth. Think of the MLS as the master database where agents post and search for homes. It's like a backstage pass to the market. Sites like Zillow and Realtor.com pull from it, but not instantly and not always completely or accurately. Your agent's MLS access is the most accurate, real-time view of what's actually available. Asked to be set up with alerts so you don't miss anything as properties hit the market. Your agent's MLS access is the most accurate, real-time view of what's actually available. Asked to be set up with alerts so you don't miss anything, from new properties to status changes to price changes and more. Comps or comparables are recently sold homes in the area that are similar to the one you're buying or selling or considering putting an offer on. We use them to determine fair market value. If the house next door just sold for $450,000, that matters, but only if it's similar. Comps help you make informed pricing and offer decisions. Days on market, or DOM, tells you how long a home's been listed. Low DOM usually means high demand. High DOM could mean wiggle room on the price or a red flag, maybe an unmotivated seller. But a good agent's going to know the right questions to ask to get you the true meaning of those days on market. Pre-qualification is a ballpark estimate, no documents required. Pre-approval means you've submitted financials, had your credit pulled, and the lender has verified your info. If you're serious, you'll want to be pre-approved before touring homes. It makes your offer stronger and shows sellers that you're ready to go. Debt to income, or DTI, is the percentage of your monthly income that goes towards debt. Lenders use it to gauge if you can take on a mortgage at a certain amount. Even with great credit, a high DTI can hold you back. If your down payment is under 20%, most lenders will require PMI, or private mortgage insurance. It protects them, not you, in case you default. The good news, you can usually remove PMI once you've built 20% equity in a home. Your agent can answer questions, or your mortgage company can tell you kind of how this works. Cash to close is the total amount you need to bring to closing. It includes things like your down payment and a bunch of other costs like lender fees, taxes, insurance, prepaids, we call a lot of them. It's more than just your down payment, something that catches many first-time buyers off guard. In Texas, we use a standardized form published by TREC, the Texas Real Estate Commission, for most residential transactions. It's typically 9 to 10 pages long, not including required addenda. 1 to 4 family just means that it's used for properties of up to 4 families, meaning it could be a single home, a duplex, a triplex, or even a fourplex. Above that, a different form would usually be used. Option period is unique to Texas in that it gives the buyer a short window, usually 5 to 10 days, to back out for any reason. Could be after your inspection, could be before your inspection. You just changed your mind. This is essentially where you're buying a small amount of time with a non-refundable option fee to terminate for any reason. One common mistake: forgetting to deliver that option check on time. You usually have just 3 days, and not delivering it on time could mean you don't have the option to back out anymore. Earnest money is a good faith deposit, typically 1% of the purchase price, and it's held by the title company. If the deal closes, it gets applied towards your closing costs. If you back out without a valid reason, you could forfeit it, whereas normally terminating within your legal rights means you get back your earnest money. Contingency is kind of a built-in what-if clause. Your offer might be contingent on you selling your current home, or getting approved for financing, or getting a satisfactory inspection. If the condition isn't met, you may be able to cancel without penalty. This is often called a contingency. Escrow is a neutral third party, usually a title company, that holds onto money and documents until all the conditions are met of the contract so that it can close. It keeps everyone honest and ensures no one walks away with money or keys too early. They're kind of like a neutral third party. And in some states, this is done with an attorney, but in Texas, we open and close escrow at a title company. A title policy protects you against any legal claims to the property, like surprise liens or disputes over ownership or property lines. The title company usually ensures a title commitment early in the transaction to show the history of the property. In Texas, sellers often pay for the buyer's title policy, but like everything else, it's negotiable. A survey shows property boundaries, fences, easements, and structures. If the seller doesn't have a recent survey that meets the title company's standards, the buyer can request a new one. Who pays for it? That's written into the contract, and again, negotiable. However, note that using an old survey, the seller will normally notate any changes that have been made to the property. It could lessen your coverage if there have been changes made or you're using someone else's survey, so some people choose to get a new one, but sellers often don't want to pay for them if they've got an old one to provide. Appraisal is where the lender hires a third-party appraiser to confirm the value of the home. If the appraisal comes in low, we either renegotiate or the buyer makes up the difference in cash. Note that the appraisal is not really for the buyer or seller, it's really for the lender to protect what they're loaning on the property. That's why an appraisal is not usually required if it's a cash purchase or there's a whole lot of money being put down. Addenda are all the extra documents attached to the contract. Common ones include the third-party financing addenda, the HOA addendum, or the lead-based paint disclosure. These are all required based on the property type and financing type. You might have different addenda that are required. The closing disclosure, or CD, outlines every dollar in the transaction. Your down payment, loan fees, taxes, everything. You'll get at least 3 business days before closing from your lender. The settlement statement is a line-by-line breakdown of all the costs, buyers and sellers. You'll usually review it with your escrow officer at closing, and it becomes part of your signed documents. In Texas, even after you've signed everything, the deal isn't complete until it funds. That means the lender has released the money and the title company has dispersed it, and usually a funding number is issued by the lender. It's kind of like a confirmation number. Only then does the home legally become yours as a buyer, or has the home been transferred out of your name if you're the seller. Possession, aka when you get the keys, may happen right after funding or could be a day or two later. If the seller needs to stay temporarily, they'll sign a seller's temporary residential lease. Technically, sometimes, depending on the negotiations, these could go for a few days, a few weeks, or even a couple of months. It's commonly known as a leaseback. Recording is the official step where your deed is recorded with the county, making your ownership public record. It often happens the same day as funding, but some counties can take longer, or it certainly can take longer to show up on the county's website. Real estate in Texas doesn't have to feel overwhelming, especially when someone walks you through it in plain English. The more you understand the language, the more confident and in control you'll be throughout the process. If there's a term you've heard and still don't understand it, drop it in the comments. We'll help explain it. And when you're ready to buy or sell, call us. The Cave Realty team will walk you through every step, start to finish, with no confusion, no surprises. There's a lot more than just the terms. We'll sit and go through the entire buying process, timelines, expenses, and more. I'm Ryan Cave with the Cave Realty team. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to punch that like button, subscribe, and comment down below if you have any questions or anything. Thanks.